Guys, it's Dr. Kresimir here. I am a chiropractor in London, Ontario, Canada. If you see me, just a little bit of caution, if you see me making funny faces looking in the camera, it's my wife got me this wonderful new phone. I record on my phone for Christmas, and it's in HD. So seeing yourself in HD for the first time, let's just say it's quite a trip. On today's video, I'm going to be showing you the best exercises to prepare yourself for walking. But before that, a couple things. Number one, walking is, in my opinion, the most underrated form of movement, I would say right now. You know, we're in a place where we always think with exercise, you know, the more intense, the better that it is. And it's not always necessarily true. Better is better, more intense is not always better. And in terms of a great form of movement, if you don't have any other method, like right now as I'm recording this, and I can't wait for this to become history one day, you know, we're in the middle of a lockdown and a pandemic, and all of the gyms have been ordered shut. So it's tough. It's tougher to exercise. Now, I'm not saying that walking is all encompassing and it doesn't cover all of the requirements for your body, but it still is excellent and the most underrated form of exercise. So I wanna make sure that I can help you prep your body well for walking. So let's go ahead and start talking about the exercises. Now, one thing that you need to know, this is really important because these principles apply to other things in your body. When we're talking about the way that your body likes to move, specifically with things like walking, is the things involved the most, I mean, it's your lower body. I mean, there is some upper body movements, but it's your lower body the most, particularly your feet, ankles, knees, hips, and lower spine. So I think this is the most important part of the video, because if you can get this, you can start to apply it to other aspects of your life. Your ankles love mobility. They need to be mobile. The nature of the joint is it needs to move really well. Your knees love stability. It's a hinge joint. It really only moves this way. Your hips love mobility. Your lower back loves stability. So we're going to build the warm-up around this idea. So let's start at the ankle and work our way up. When you're talking about your ankle, you know, I've seen a lot of exercises recommended where you're doing things like this. Those are all fine. They're not my favorite, simply because you want your ankle to be weight bearing. You want your body weight on your ankle. And you want that pressure to be here. And this is the way that you can really test the limits of your ankle. The simplest thing that you can do with no tools is to get into this 90-90 position like this. And what you're gonna be doing is your back is gonna stay straight, your core is going to stay tight. I'm targeting my right leg, and all I'm gonna be doing is making sure my heel stays on the ground. I'm going to be putting as much weight as I possibly can on my knee. Now, what's gonna want to happen is my ankle's gonna wanna lift up like that. I'm going to not let it do that. And I should feel a stretch through my Achilles, and I should feel a stretch through here. And I'm gonna wanna hold that. If you can build up to a minute in this position, that's really, really good. And I'm gonna want to do that. So by building up to a minute, what that means is, you know, let's say it's really painful. And by the way, if anything hurts, please stop and contact your healthcare provider. Nothing should be painful. Things should be maybe uncomfortable at the best. I mean, you're stretching, you're trying to loosen things up. But, you know, let's say it hurts a lot. I can hold it for 10 seconds. That's 10. You want to get 1 minute in this position with your ankle like this. That's good enough to start. Walking should not be the most strenuous thing, but you definitely should warm up and prepare to do it properly. So for your knees, a really simple thing to do for your knees. Again, remember, your knees love stability. We don't have to do any stretches for our knees. We just have to get them moving. The simplest thing to get your knees moving is to work on a squat. So do 10 air squats. Even if you can only squat a little bit, even if your squat's to here, you just want to get those knees warming up. If you can squat all the way like you should be able to, you know, do 10 air squats, get the knees working. There might be some popping and cracking as things get going. For your hips, I'll grab one of the chairs. I'll be back in 1 second. There we go. Not too fancy here. For your hips, remember your hips love mobility. So what we're gonna be doing for our hips is, like when we were little kids, we would do the airplane. We're gonna do the airplane on a chair. So you wanna be nice and supported. You wanna make sure you can't go anywhere. It'd be really hilarious if I fell. You want your back nice and straight, your core tight. I'm gonna be working on my right hip first. This is coming out. Notice how everything's straight and locked. The first thing that I'm gonna try to do is to touch this hip pointer to this knee. Obviously I can't do that, but it's going to collapse my hips this way, and then I'm going to open them up this way. I've done this video exercise on video many, many times. You want to do 6 nice and slow aside. And then when it comes to your lower back, we're gonna wanna do the bird dog, okay? And the bird dog is in this position again. Spine neutral. I don't wanna have my head turned like I'm looking at you right now, but you want your head nice and neutral, and it's going to be opposite arm, opposite leg. We don't want any rotation. We just want to feel and flex those muscles in our lower back and in our glute, which will help stabilize our spine. Hold it for 10 seconds and do 6 aside. And then you should be ready to go for your walk. If you have any comments or questions, please post them below. Warm-ups are very important. You want to be able to walk at a nice brisk pace without it causing you any harm. Talk to you guys soon. Enjoy the exercise, and we'll see you later.